In June 2007, an NRDC delegation including Peter Lehner, Jacob Scher, Bob Epstein, Lee Stein, Fa and Roger Liddell, and others traveled to Costa Rica on an advocacy mission to explore how the country could become the first petroleum-free nation. In the process, they identified opportunities in energy efficiency and smart transportation. Within 20 months, the NRDC took a radical step. For the first time in its history, the NRDC declared the entire country of Costa Rica a biogem. In June 2009, Peter Lehner, Jacob Scher, and Carolina Herrera embarked on a fact-finding trip focusing on identifying actions to be taken to protect this new biogem. Lee Stein and Emily Arnold were well positioned to introduce them to the Osa Peninsula. Following the June 2007 NRDC advocacy mission, Lee Stein and Emily Arnold, at the invitation of President Arias and Minister Dobles, attended the ceremony celebrating the launch of President Arias's Peace with Nature initiative. After the Peace with Nature launch, Lee and Emily focused on the Osa Peninsula, the place that National Geographic magazine calls the most biologically intense place on Earth. Taking over 14 trips to Costa Rica in 18 months, Lee was accompanied on many of his trips to the Osa by Ambassador Luis Diego Escalante and was also joined by Minister Dobles and Pedro Leon, chief scientist to the president. As a result, President Arias spent the night in the Osa Peninsula for the first time on January 18, 2008. In the Osa, the conflict between people and nature continues. There is no peace with nature, since the occupying aggressor, people, are continuing business as usual at the cost of nature. On the June 2009 fact-finding mission to Costa Rica, Prize Capital sponsored a weekend in the Osa for the NRDC team. CAVU, an environmental NGO who uses flight to educate and engage stakeholders about natural resource management, flew the team from San Jose to Puerto Jimenez. From the air, the many threats to the Osa are visible. The bright red earth of the steep roads cut into the hillsides, showing the illegal developments of the Fila Costeña. Sedimentation was seen washing out near the largest intact estuaries in Central America, the Sierpe estuaries, and expanding pineapple plantations were plainly visible. Prize Capital also hosted the NRDC group visits with the owners of premier eco-lodges in the region, Luna Lodge, Bosque del Cabo, Nicuesa, and Tisquita, who are working to protect the Osa. The Osa is the only place in Costa Rica where 4 species of monkeys can all be seen, along with many scarlet macaws, toucans, snakes, and other wildlife. Meetings with TNC and big cat expert Ida Bustamante further expanded understanding of the challenges facing the ecosystems in the Osa, where jaguars, pumas, and tapirs could thrive if more resources were committed to protection and community engagement. On the drive to Karate and the Corcovado National Park, a scarlet macaw even landed on Peter Lehner's vehicle.
We've never had to have scarlet macaw try to get into a car before.
A truly precious experience with abundant nature. The trip concluded with a boat tour of the Golfo Dulce, where bottlenose dolphins and pan-tropical spotted dolphins playfully swam with the boats. For these dolphins and the other biodiversity of the Golfo Dulce to thrive, development must be undertaken mindfully. One of the most pressing threats to the region is a tuna farm, with capacity to produce 120 tons of tuna every 4 months, slated for development at the mouth of the Golfo Dulce, one of the 4 tropical fjords in the world, and the only one remaining in the Americas. The Golfo Dulce Fjord is the home of the breeding grounds of the humpback whale from both the northern and southern hemisphere, with the bull sharks, tiger sharks, and hammerhead sharks. The project is in its final permitting stages, and proper studies of the currents and the impact of water contamination on the Golfo Dulce have not been undertaken. During the trip, the Osa was called Wildlife for Lazy People, since you can watch monkeys, toucans, and scarlet macaws without even getting out of bed. The Osa is the location where people should make peace with nature, and where a peace treaty with nature should be signed. In 2002, former President Pacheco declared a moratorium on petroleum exploration and production, declaring that Costa Rica's true petroleum and true gold are the water and oxygen produced by its rainforests. If we hope one day to have a sustainable world, we must first have a sustainable country. If this can be accomplished anywhere, it can be accomplished in Costa Rica. In Costa Rica, the first place to make peace with nature is the Osa Peninsula.